Hi, today I'll tell you about the movie It Follows, which one was released 2014. A battered and frightened girl named Annie runs out of the house into the street, where she stops right on the road, carefully looking at the house. The neighbors and the girl's father are trying to figure out what happened, but Annie claims that everything is fine with her. She returns to the house to pick up the car keys and drives away. Annie stops at night on the shore and talks to her father on the phone. She tells him that she loves him and mom. The girl was brutally murdered at night. After these events, a girl named Jay enjoys swimming in the pool. She's going on a date to the cinema with a guy named Hugh. In the line, the girl offers to play a game. The companion must visually choose the person in whose place he would like to be, and Jay must guess who Hugh chose. The guy chose a boy with his parents because in childhood it is not necessary to go to the toilet because it can be done right on the spot. Then it's Jay's turn. She informs Hugh that she has made a choice and now he has to guess. The guy points to a girl in a yellow dress, but Jay can't see anyone with a similar description. Suddenly Hugh gets worried and asks Jay to get back in the car with him. The couple spent the rest of the evening in a cafe. The next day, Jay shares his observations with his sister. She noticed that the guy behaved unusually and thinks that he was uncomfortable. In the evening, the girl meets Hugh again. The couple makes love, after which the guy uses a chloroform cloth to make Jay lose consciousness. Soon she wakes up in an abandoned room tied to a chair. Hugh, standing behind her, asks for her forgiveness. The guy calms the girl by telling her that he is not going to kill her. After that, Hugh begins to tell that when they made love, he gave the girl a curse. It can take the form of any familiar or unfamiliar person, and only the owner of the curse can see it. Hugh is interrupted when he notices a naked girl approaching. Before he leaves, he tells a terrified Jay that in order to survive, he needs to sleep with someone else. Meanwhile, Sister Jay is playing cards with friends. She notices Hugh's car. The guy stops to let Jay out and warns before leaving that you can't let the creature touch you. Neighbors notice an ambulance with police near the Jay family's house, and in the meantime, the girl tells the staff about what happened at night. A few days later, while listening to the teacher, Jay notices a woman in white clothes walking towards her class. The frightened girl collects her things and hurriedly leaves the classroom without asking permission from the teacher. Moving towards the exit, Jay turns back and sees the intimidating woman again. She ignored all the questions. Moreover, the other students did not understand who Jay was talking to. Eventually, she runs away and comes to her sister for work. There the girl tells about the old woman and transmits the words to Hugh. Kelly is skeptical about everything, and Paul, who is in love with Jay, is trying to find out more details from the girl. As a result, Paul offers to spend the night together. Jay can't sleep and goes down to the ground floor. They start remembering funny stories from their childhood, but suddenly a loud sound is made. The guy discovers a broken window in the kitchen and then goes to wake Kelly up so that she calls the police. During this, Jay goes into the kitchen, where he discovers a half-naked creepy girl who is slowly walking straight at Jay. She runs away and locks herself in her room, and then Paul and Kelly join her. Together with them was Yara, who also stayed the night at Jay's. Suddenly, a tall man appears behind her, who entered the room immediately after Yara. The girl gets out of the house through the window and leaves on a bicycle. She stops and sits on the swing. Soon she is found by excited friends. Jay's neighbor and classmate, Greg, approaches the group, who is not the first to notice the girl's strange behavior and decides to find out what is wrong with her. The guys talk about what happened in the house. In the morning, the group drives up to Hugh's house. Inside, Jay notices a tricky arrangement of cans and bottles, so Hugh could have known about the creature's approach earlier. Paul finds a picture of the guy, and thanks to Jay's uniform, he understands which school Hugh attended. They decide to go there to find more information about a suddenly missing person. The teenagers manage to find out that the guy's real name is Jeff. They head to his parents' house, where they meet Jeff. He says that the best option for a girl is to sleep with someone else, and then, perhaps, the creature will get off. But if Jay dies, the monster will start hunting Jeff again, and so on until it gets to the person who is at the very beginning of the deadly chain. At some point, he notices a girl walking behind Jay. Jeff begins to worry until the rest of the group reports that they also see her. Greg decides to take Jay to a country house to buy time since the creature walks quite slowly. The group gets to the house, where Jay lays a homemade burglar alarm. In the morning, Greg goes into the barn to pick up the gun and teach Jay how to use it. Later, teenagers relax on the shore. Kelly notices how a strand of hair on Jay's head is unnaturally risen. After a moment, she began to ask for help. Paul hits something with a chair and it pushes the young man aside, releasing Jay. Teenagers run to the barn where the girl grabs a gun. It transformed into a tall man to try to knock out the blocked door. The creature managed to break part of the door, but there was no one in the crack except Greg, who was angry because of the broken door. Soon he departs. Jay tries to find out where he is, but the creature has taken the form of a boy to fit into a small hole. The girl escapes by unlocking the gate and gets to the car. The group asks her to stop, but a panicked Jay didn't respond to anything. She notices a jeep coming onto the road and roughly turns into a cornfield where she loses consciousness. The lady wakes up in the hospital surrounded by friends and relatives who have fallen asleep. Night. When everyone is gone, Greg and Jay make love. 3 days later, Jay asks the guy about his affairs. He says that no one has appeared during this time. The guy thinks it won't appear. After some time, Greg visits his neighbor, but Kelly informs him that she has locked herself in the room and does not open it to anyone. They ask him about the creature, but Greg never saw anyone. At night, a sleepy Jay notices a man walking in white clothes. He approaches Greg's house and breaks the window with a stone, then climbs inside. The girl starts calling the guy. When the answering machine turns on, Jay immediately leaves the house and runs to help. She climbs into the house and discovers the teenager's mother on the second floor. The woman knocked on the door without stopping. The girl tried to shout to Greg, but he did not hear and opened the door. Immediately after, the creature attacked the young man. Jay looks into the room and sees Greg already dead. The frightened girl gets into the car and drives away. Jay mourns the death of the guy and stops in the woods, where he goes to sleep on the hood. In the morning, she notices 3 guys on a boat. The girl takes off some of her clothes and enters the water, probably in order to sleep with one of them. The next day, Paul knocks on Jay's locked room. They discuss why the girl chose Greg. Jay believed that nothing would happen to the guy because he often acted bravely and could stand up for himself. He asks you to trust him and go with him to the place where they first kissed in childhood. The teens get to the pool, where Paul wonders how long it takes to wait for the creature to come. Jay assumes that a few hours will be enough. The group begins to prepare a deadly electric trap for the entity. The girl enters the water and the teenagers froze in anticipation. At some point, Jay reports in an anxious voice that the creature is inside. Something just stands and looks at the girl without going into the water. Suddenly, the entity began to move. Jay starts to panic, and at one point the monster threw the device into the water. The teenagers realize that Jay may fall into the trap herself. Paul grabs the gun and asks Jay to orient him. The guy shoots and accidentally hits Yara's leg. Kelly throws a rag over the creature, and the floor hits the head, causing it to fall into the water. Jay tried to get out of the water, but a tenacious creature grabs her and pulls her leg. The girl managed to pull out after Paul made another well-aimed shot. The group managed to stop the creature at least temporarily. Later, Jay agrees to transfer the curse to Paul, and in the afternoon the guy stops next to the girls, probably thinking about transferring the curse. The couple visit Yara in the hospital, who is on the mend. A few days later, Paul and Jay walk hand in hand while being followed by a suspicious person. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy it. Guys, if you want to support us, click the red button below. See you next video.